All right. Well, thank you for joining us today. I know you had to fit us in your schedule. We have a room full here at Velma Jackson, and we're recording this for our students to see later. So Miss Thompson, Miss Brown, Miss Taylor, Coach Drain will all be, Coach Day will all be seeing this at a later date. We'll obviously have a lot of questions for you. So again, thank you so much for joining us. So everybody that's here now actually was not in school yet when you graduated. So that, I mean, it seems like yesterday you were here, but it's actually been that long. So for those of the people that don't know who you are, tell us about a little bit when you came to Velma Jackson and what all you were involved with when you were here and some of the accomplishments you had.
Okay, so I came to Velma in about 13, I think. Graduated in 2017, something like that. And I was the former Miss Velma Jackson. And I played basketball. I was in JROTC. I played volleyball. I was in the Beta Club. I was in the SGA Club. And right now, and I attended after high school. I attended Holmes Community College, and I was there for like a year and a half. And then I attended Tougaloo College, and I graduated this year, in May. And I got my bachelor's in sociology, and right now I'm working on my master's.
A master's in what? Hold on one second. Sorry, I got buzzed by the office. So tell us one more time, what are you getting your master's in?
I'm getting my master's in teaching.
Okay, awesome. Now, when you were at Velma Jackson, and you also left out the fact that you were valedictorian of the class of 2017 as well.
Yeah, I was salutatorian.
Oh, I'm sorry, salutatorian. Yes. Salutatorian of a very good senior class, which had a lot of good students in it. So obviously they heard what you did in high school. You were involved in a lot of stuff at the same school with a lot of the same teachers. So what made you choose the community college route, and then ultimately what made you choose Tougaloo?
I chose the community college route because coming from a small school like Velma, we only had like 60 kids, 60 students in the whole class. So coming from a small school, I thought it was better to choose the community college route, better than just starting right off at a big university. So that's why I chose to go to Holmes, because at Holmes it's just like Velma. It's just like you sit in the class. It's not even probably 20 people in one class. So, it's better interactions.
Okay.
And then I chose Tougaloo because Tougaloo is the same way. Honestly, the most people I done had in a class is probably like 30. It's never been over 30 people in one class at Tougaloo. So it's like the same thing. It's very small. Even though it's a university, it's still small. Like, everybody. The professors know you, and it's the same thing. So that's why I would recommend anybody to go to a community college first, because you coming from a small school, so and it's not good to just start right off, at a big university.
Yeah, and that's something we've talked about in this class, and we've had some of our smaller schools say the same thing. When you come from this environment, I don't care how great a student you are. Even myself went to Madison Central, and I was even lost in the shuffle of Southern Miss. It can be overwhelming. So if this is the environment you want to invest in, you're right. And then at Holmes, you had several of your high school classmates that went there with you. You were able to continue to work together.
Right.
At Tougaloo, it is that family atmosphere with an HBCU experience. So just to talk a little bit more about Tougaloo, because we haven't had anybody from Tougaloo join us yet. So you are our firsthand knowledge. What about the environment at Tougaloo sets it apart from some of the other HBCUs?
Tougaloo, the one thing, and that's the one thing they always say, like even the recruiters, they always say that it's a family. And when I say they are a family, it is really a family at Tougaloo. Like once you go there, and I can go back there right now. I even was working there during the summer. And it's like, it's that family. Like, it feels like home, you know, a home away from home. And like, the professors, like some of my professors I had like during my junior year, I would see them, you know, walking around the campus, and, you know, we could just stop and we can talk. And like, even the students that attend Tougaloo, like, when they see like a new person, they try to help, you know, because when you're at a new college, you have to ask people, you know, where is this at? Where is this building? You know, where I get my ID at? So that's the best thing about it. They don't mind helping. And it's just like, it's a family. It really is. It's a family.
Yeah, and my good friend Dr. Carmen Lewis is also a great professor over there, head of the psychology department, which I'm sure you dealt with her some, but I've known her a long time. Now, and one thing, you know, and again, the point of and this is a new class, so we're trying to get everybody informed of all the decisions that they can make. So obviously, there are other HBCU options in the state of Mississippi and in the South, but, you know, like you said, why would you choose a Tougaloo over a Jackson State, especially seeing how Tougaloo will be extremely much more expensive than a state university?
Yes, that was one of the choices. That was actually a hard choice for me, because my mom went to Jackson State, and I had to choose whether I wanted to actually go to Jackson State or whether I wanted to go to Tougaloo. And the person that I am, I felt that Tougaloo was more for me, because, you know, Tougaloo has a lot of history. You know, we known as, you know, being prestigious. So we're like, I felt like Tougaloo was more for me, because, you know, coming from Velma, I was Miss Velma Jackson, I was the salutatorian. Like, it was just more for me. Like, whether Jackson State, it's like, you know, they like to party, you know, it's like really busy at Jackson State. I don't have nothing against Jackson State, but it's like really busy. I know when we used to go on like the math field trips, we used to go, and we just was like, wow. Like, and you get the same experience at Tougaloo. You know, we have fraternities and sororities too. Like, you know, we have little parties, but it's not just as wild, you know, as you would at Jackson State. It's like really busy at Jackson State. But Tougaloo is more like, you know, all the history there. Like, when you step on that campus, it's like you see everybody that went there. Like, you know, like actors and actresses that have went there, like Benny Thompson that has went there. And you just like, wow, I want to be a part of this. And that's what really made me choose Tougaloo over Jackson State.
Yeah, that's incredible. And also, you know, we're looking for a college experience. And you can talk a little bit about if you lived on campus or things like that. With the campus experience, it's close to a lot of stuff. So it's not, you're not far from North Park. You're close to the movie theater. So it's not like going to a rural campus where you're away from it.
Right. It's in the perfect spot, because I lived on campus, and it's like, you know, you got a wing place down the street. Like, if you hungry, you know, you really don't have to worry about eating at the cafeteria. You can go down to the spot, or, you know, it's really in a great spot. Even if, you know, you going to a party, you need something to wear, let's go to this store. You know, it's a good spot. And like, when you make friends, it's like, you know, you guys can go to the mall together. You know, it's the same thing. You can go to the mall, you can wherever you want to go.
Yeah, and I think that's a huge benefit, especially if you're somebody that doesn't have a car, or you don't want to drive far. The location is great. Now,
right, it's not in a bad area. So.
Yeah, so you know, and I did mention briefly, obviously Tougaloo costs more because it's a private university. So, what were some scholarships you were able to attain coming out of Velma Jackson and then out of Holmes?
At Holmes, I attended Holmes for free because they had the ACT scholarship, where you score a 20 or above on your ACT. You know, you could go, like, tuition is free. So I actually went to Holmes free. And Tougaloo, they have I forgot the name of the website, but it's a website that they give you at Tougaloo, where you have like a whole list of scholarships. Like, you can be applying while you there. And like, I know one of my classmates at Tougaloo, he had over $50,000 worth of scholarships, and paid like all his, he was debt free. because he was applying for so many scholarships. I forget the name of the website, but it's actually a website that they give you at Tougaloo, the financial aid office. They give you a website once you go in there at Tougaloo, and they tell you, just go and apply for these scholarships because you can get them. And I applied for some of them, and like they took out some of my loans because you have to get loans because it is expensive. That's the the thing about college, the whole loan thing is what really scares people. But once you there and you apply for like those scholarships, and then that's the thing, you at a college, and like honestly, most people aren't applying for the scholarships. So just think, if you one of those people that's applying, it's more than likely that you're going to get that scholarship, especially if it's just a Tougaloo scholarship. You're more than likely going to get that scholarship because other people may not be applying for it. So that's the best thing about it. And I actually worked in and then I would also tell people who attend college that do work study. And I worked in financial aid, which was one of the best things I ever did because financial aid is the building that everybody comes to. So I got to know people, all the kids, they would come in there, and I got to know them because I was working in there. So, and I got to know when we got our refunds. That's the best thing about college, getting your refund check. So I got to tell my classmates, oh, refunds are coming out soon, because I worked at financial aid. So, and that was the best thing about it. Like, work study is really good.
Oh, absolutely. And besides the fact, it does pay down your scholarship, it also gives you that networking ability and that work experience you can put on a resume. Because a lot of employers, for example, if they have a relationship with Tougaloo alums, they're going to see that you worked on that campus, and they will contact somebody they know in that college to contact you for a job interview. I think that is a very underrated part of the work study campus job program. Now, one thing, and I think you do have a precious little girl, and you did all this as a parent. So how difficult was that to balance being a mom and being a college student?
Oh my gosh, that was like one of the most difficult things. And that was another reason why I chose homes, because I live like 10 minutes away from home. So I could come home every day if I wanted to, but having that support system, and that's what I tell people, moms, like once you have that, and everybody don't have a support system. So, but once you have that support system, I was able to still have my college experience because of my mom and dad and like my siblings, but that was like the hardest part, worrying about whether I'm not going to be here for my child, like being in school, trying to get an education, then, not being able to be my child. And then like going to Tougaloo, it's in Ridgeland, so it's not that far. I can still, come home every weekend, things like that. But it just gave me more of a motivation, in college. And that's what I tell people, when you have kids, that's your motivation. It's no stopping. So like, just like when I went to Homes, I only was there for a year and a half, even though I started 6 months later, because I had to sit out for 6 months because I had my baby. So I started 6 months later, and I still was able to finish early and finish on time. So, and then going to Tougaloo. So having a child is very difficult, especially if you don't have a support system. And like, even at Tougaloo, they have this like this group called Mojo for mothers.
Cool.
And it's where like all the student mothers, they come together and we just talk about our problems. We vent to each other, and like we help each other whatever we need. Like she give you, you could the person over it, it's Mayor Lumumba's wife. Okay. She gives, if you need money for diapers, if you need money for like daycare, like she gives it. So that's the good thing about Tougaloo too. They had like a whole student mother organization.
Now, would you suggest somebody having a child and then trying to go to college?
No, I would not. I would say please wait if you can. Yes, because it's very hard. It is very hard. So yeah, I would say wait. Just wait.
And now you said you are getting your master's. So what is your ultimate career goals coming out of that master's degree?
I actually want to teach in my community. You know, I'm from Camden, but I live in the Pickens area, like Holmes County area. And, you know, we know that the school system is really bad up there. So I kind of want to go there and teach. And I wanted to actually own my own daycare. Like, I want to do everything in my community just to help my community. Because, you know, coming from a small community, everybody know everybody, and, you know, we can just help each other. So that's really my ultimate goal, is like to help young mothers in my community, help the people that I know in my community, and just, you know, teach. And I want to teach like younger kids. I don't really want to teach older kids, because they probably look at me as the same age as them. So I want to just teach the young, you know, because they're the next generation coming up. So, and it's a lot to learn.
Oh, absolutely. And before I get to some of the students' questions, can you talk a little bit about, as somebody that went to Velma Jackson, how much does the high school popularity and the high school achievements mean once you leave here?
Oh, it means a lot. I mean, I even had an experience where at Tougaloo, where I wasn't for sure whether I was going or not, because of the dorm. It was like a bad dorm situation. And I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna. Yes, I had a situation where, like, that's the thing about Tougaloo too, like the dorms, you know, it's so historic, so and they don't want to change anything. So the dorms were like really bad, and I was like, I'm not gonna go here. So I had the recruiters, two recruiters. They saw my whole credentials and everything I did in school. They saw my GPA, and they was like, no, we're gonna get you in a better dorm. So because of the things I did from high school, they looked at like Salutatorian, Miss Velma Jackson. They looked at all that and was like, we got to keep her here at Tougaloo. So I was able to get a better dorm just because of my credentials from high school.
That's incredible. And
so it goes a long way.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the fight we fight every day here is that what you do in high school matters. I mean, some of it does, some of it doesn't, but anything you can put on paper. You know, me and Coach Drain, we always use the term quantifiable and measurable. If you can show that you did it on paper, it's going to be seen. Now, partying and partying being a funny, that don't mean anything when you leave here. But putting the things that colleges are going to want to see is extremely important from ninth grade on. So that GPA can follow you a long time. It can really open some doors for you. So it's just a matter of taking the education seriously. Now, I got one more before I get to their questions. How different is it going from being probably the most popular person in school to being just a regular person in a new environment?
Oh, that's a great question. Oh my gosh. That was the most difficult thing. Like, when you go to college, nobody knows you. I had maybe one girl from high school that I knew that went to Tougaloo. She was there at the same time I was. But other than that, you are a total stranger. Nobody knows you. You have to ask questions. Like, it's very difficult. It is, especially if you're not a people's person. And like, that's what I would tell, you know, seniors. Like, if you're not asking questions in class, I challenge you to start asking questions. Even when, like, we're in a classroom, I used to sit in one class where nobody will answer the questions but me. So by me answering those questions, the professor got to know me. So it's difficult. Like, people don't know you. You have to find your own way. And that's like the hardest part of college, finding your own way, trying to figure out where everything is, who everybody is, who to hang with, who not to hang with. Like, that's the whole adulting part of college.
Yeah, and
it was extremely difficult.
Yeah, and along the same lines, when it comes to the academic side, how often do professors, even at homes, even at community college, how often do they actually change deadlines?
Never. Yeah, the professors, oh no, they never change their deadlines. If something is due, something is due. Like, only time they're gonna change if it's like something on their end. Like, if they probably forgot something, but if it's us forgetting something, oh no, they're not changing. I don't care if it's a snowstorm, a thunderstorm, a tornado. If your computer shut out, it's no excuses in college. They are not changing their deadlines. Like you have to go and beg or go and see them. They're not changing anything.
Yeah, I think that's something that a lot of our seniors and juniors don't realize, and then they find out the hard way. But I do want to get to some of these students' questions, and again, these are all seniors, and it's crazy. All these seniors were in 8th grade when you graduated, so none of them were here with you at the same time. It just seems like yesterday. But
Wow.
this is
Okay.
Christian Sanders. He had just made a 25 on the ACT, and he is asking, "Do you know of any scholarship
Wow.
opportunities for someone with a 25 on the ACT at Tougaloo?"
I actually don't know any specific ones at Tougaloo, but I know they do have some. In a 25, I'm sure that can get you a great scholarship. I don't really know any specific ones, but like I said, I'm going to actually look up that website and send it to you, because it is a website actually just for Tougaloo. It's at Tougaloo. Wow. That they give to students that, and he can go ahead and be applying for it like right now. Yeah. And they can help him with his loans or anything. But with a 25, I'm sure it's plenty of scholarships they have out there.
Yeah, and then even if they don't plan on going to Tougaloo, we keep telling them they need to start applying now.
Right.
Go ahead and be accepted. You get a housing party, all that stuff. This is Michael Williams.
Yes.
He asked, what are your most favorite parts about Tougaloo?
Oh my gosh, my most favorite parts about Tougaloo is, of course, fried chicken Wednesdays. On Wednesdays, we have the best soul food. We have fried chicken, greens, yams. And during that time, like all the fraternities and sorority, they stroll. And like we have like a whole party every Wednesday. This happens every Wednesday. So it's like everybody, like you get dressed up and, you just come out and it's just like a family. We dance, we do line dances together. So that's like my greatest memories at Tougaloo.
That's awesome. Now this is Terrence Mack, and this is, and this was tough, but we'll see. He asked, are there different requirements for certain areas or majors once you're admitted into the college?
Oh, yes. I was in the sociology department, and we had, they have, once you become a senior, they have senior thesis, and we had to, present those in order to graduate. We had to actually present a senior thesis and everything in order to graduate. Like it's different, like in the psychology department and even in the education department, you have to have certain hours. You have to do interns. So yes, every department has different requirements. So yes, that was a good question. Yes.
This was Aquarius Harris, and he asked, what benefits come along with being a salutatorian?
Oh yeah, like I said, when like everything you do in high school, like I said, when the recruiters got me a better dorm and all, it like that followed me, that helped me to get a better dorm. So they look at all of that. So, and I think people kind of treat you differently once they see that on your resume, and once they look at your credentials, they kind of treat you differently, because it's like, oh, we really need her because she was smart in high school, so I'm sure she's going to be smart in college. So that really helped me.
This is Alayla Middleton, and she asked, how hard is it to take care of not only yourself, but to also take care of a child while being a college student?
Very hard. It's very extremely difficult. Like I said, especially not having that support. Like a lot of people don't have that, so it is extremely difficult. You have to work to try to do, and then like some mothers, you can't even stay on campus because you have to be home with your child. Yeah. So it's extremely difficult. But you had a motivation. I knew a lot of mothers at Tougaloo, a lot of like older, I had a lot of older classmates in their 40s and 50s that I would go to class with, and they had like whole families, like more than one child. So I feel like if they could do it, I know I can, because like that's very hard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is Fred Page, and he asked, what is it like being coming from high school and then being a first-year college student?
I actually like I actually love college more than I love high school. And that's because high school, it has a little bit, like college has a little less rules than high school. Even in classrooms,
Yep.
you know, like you could come to class and I could bring my baby to class, like versus high school, you really, you can't really do that. So, but being a first, like coming straight out of high school, it was difficult. Like I said, you coming into something new, like me being at Velma for 4 years, like this is a school in my community that I already knew about, to a college that I have no like kind of idea about, don't know anybody. So it was like extremely difficult. But all I can say is ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask people. If you see somebody walking around campus, ask questions. Don't be afraid. All they can say, they can be rude or they can be nice, but at least you ask, So yeah, it was difficult coming, from high school to college. But like I said, going to a community college first was the best decision I ever made. Absolutely. Because I came from a small school, and going to a smaller college was the best decision I ever made.
Absolutely. And I think really from the financial standpoint now with the cost of college rising, that's something, I mean, obviously if you have a full scholarship, you need to take it, but we've really encouraged whether the Himes, and Wallace Vaughn's went to East Central, he was a year ahead of you. So we've had a lot of good students go to the community college route and really, really get a lot out of it. But I know we're almost out of time, and we thank you so much. And let me tell you, before I get to this last question, we're so proud to call you an alumni, and every day, all of us that I saw you come through here, we're just so proud of what all you've done. You're such a great example for these kids, and we hope once the COVID restrictions are lifted, we'd love to have you to come talk to them, because you are such a great example of a great Velma Jackson alumni. But I really want to
thank you so much.
Oh, and you deserve everything you get. You deserve, but I want to ask you this, because a lot of people are going to watch this later as well. You grew like everybody else watching now or later. You went to the same high school with the same teachers, grew up in the same community. You got the same color of your skin, and you dealt with the obstacles that they are going to face, whether they want to or not. So whether they want to go to Tougaloo, right, or whether they want to go drive trucks, how are they going to be as successful as you've become when they face those same obstacles?
Oh, it's just about, people don't understand, like when you are determined to do things, and there were plenty of times where I wanted to give up and just be like, you know what, college is not for me. Like I'm just like, plenty of times I'm up all night trying to get work done, but you have to be determined. It was plenty of times I've overslept. It's plenty of times I've missed assignments, but you just have to be, it's something you have to grow. Like in college, you grow. From freshman year to senior year, you grow. Like from a freshman, you may miss, all your 8 o'clock classes. Then when you become a senior, you like, oh no, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna wake up for these classes. But it's many obstacles in college. But all I can say is stay determined, have motivation, and just know what you want to do, because you can't do anything if you're not determined to do it. So you just have to, keep that motivation. And, you even have to change your ways from high school to college. Like you have to become a totally different person. It's great to change. You're not going to be the same person you were in high school. Like some of my classmates, we are totally different now from high school to college, because we had to grow. We had to become an adult. So that's just like, many parents say when you go to college, oh, I'm not going to be there to wake you up every morning. And that's true. You have to wake yourself up, set your own alarm, find your way in the college. So it's a lot. It's just about growing up and knowing that this is going to be my life and this is what I want.
That's awesome. And again, we thank you so much for making some time for us today. That was some great stuff. And I know the people that are going to watch this later are going to love it. But I know you're really busy, but thank you so much for making some time for us today, Malerie. You are really, really an incredible person.
You.
You're very welcome. And we will see you soon, my friend.
Okay. See you soon. Right. Have a good rest of the day.
You too.